right, so here we are.
We're doing it.
That's not how I start. Welcome to Thanks Academy, the podcast where we watch all the best picture winners of all time in random order with random friends. And today's random friend is Rob Gagnon.
Excellent to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Over on a night with the kids, so we might have some kid interruption if we're lucky.
That's okay. I welcome it.
You're welcome, kid interruption.
I welcome kid interruptions. I think it's something more movies should think about.
Yeah.
Could a kid come in?
Yeah.
You miss 5 minutes. Can you miss any 5 minutes? Mm-hmm. And you're still good to go?
Or vice versa. Can a child of any age watch any 5 minutes
of your movie
and be terrified?
Yeah. I won't go back in there. Yeah. Don't bother them.
Can you kid-proof the movie? I watched Jurassic Park with Charlotte. She was ready for Jurassic Park. She loved the dinosaur action. Mm-hmm. She did not love the in-between dinosaur action.
Yeah.
She was like, there's a lot of talking
in
this movie. I said, well, when you grow up, the talking kind of explains other things that are sort of interesting to grow. And halfway through that sentence, I realized she's right.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say
there's a lot of talking in that movie.
Halfway through that sentence, I realized she wasn't even listening to me at that point.
No, I was just like, you know what, though? But in this case, you're right. The dinosaur action is the best part.
It's got to make a big difference. They also, they focus so much more on making movies for kids now. I don't know why it took them so long to realize how much money there was in that, but...
I don't know. I think just tastes have changed. Like, Charlotte's used to Pixar. Mm-hmm. And this was like... Jurassic Park is a pretty kid-friendly movie when you compare it to other movies of that age, like Goonies and stuff.
Yeah,
you know, there was like
were
plot
weird.
Heavy. Home Alone had a lot of plot.
Yeah,
a lot of sitting around talking and thinking and.
You know, I don't remember it that way, but you're probably right.
It's just like you only remember the dinosaur parts of Home Alone. So, I think movie makers figured that out, and now they make just.
Dinosaur parts, the whole movie.
Oops, all days,
Oops, all dinosaur parts. Yeah.
That's what Jurassic World felt like to me. It's just like, oops, all dinosaur parts.
Yeah, we saw it and I was like, this is what did I expect?
Right.
You know, like what did I expect?
You were almost yelling at yourself.
Yeah, and I was not upset, but it was just like, why did you want more than this? Like, they never promised you anything.
You didn't deserve more.
I didn't deserve more.
What have you done this year?
No,
honestly, have
ridiculous.
You helped a child?
No.
Have you fed a homeless person? No, you don't get more than dinosaurs.
You don't get more than dinosaurs.
I wish we were watching Jurassic Park today, but sadly that didn't win Best Picture. We're watching In the Heat of the Night.
Now, I know nothing about this movie.
From 1967. I only know one thing about this movie, and that's only because I just rented it and saw the cover. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to pretend I didn't, because here's what I thought it was. 1967, right? Summer of Love. Mm-hmm. Infamously. Summer of Sam.
Summer of Sam. A lot of killing, disco.
Hair was on Broadway. Yeah. You know, and the movie's called In the Heat of the Night. I thought we were going to watch a sexy-ass movie.
That's pretty much what I thought, too.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I said to Ariel, I was like, she was like, what are you watching? And I was like, well, it's In the Heat of the Night. It's from like the 60s. Because you had said that it was from 67, I think. Mm-hmm. Somehow I knew that. I was like, it's from the 60s. It's probably not going to be my cup of tea, but we'll see. And then she looked it up, and I was like, and she's like, well, and I said, don't tell me anything. Yeah. But judging from her face, I was like, there must be some plot point or some person in it or something that makes her think...
I think it's still going to be a very 60s movie.
Okay.
But
I mean, how could it not be?
The jury's out on the sex part. I thought it was going to be a Blue Lagoon type thing.
I don't think...
And now I don't think that anymore because I saw one thing about it.
I think the titles of movies used to correspond even less in some ways. Now it's like, I mean, there's a reason I host a show called Stone vs. Drunk vs. Sober. Everyone knows exactly what's going on. You know, like there's no nuance to that. Whereas this, I don't know.
You're right.
I can't take a good guess other than I expected romance. I was kind of picturing somebody like leaning in and patronizing a woman, going like, listen, kid, even though I know that's not the 60s.
Yeah, but like the 60s version, like, hey, chickie, or whatever they said back then. Yeah, like, chickie. Like laughing without the laughs.
Yeah. Which is that's what we want. Laughing without the laughs. Just in. You were going to say it. Yeah. Damn, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No, that's true about titles because I've just built 2 Billy Wilder movies came up without me knowing it recently. I knew Billy Wilder for Some Like It Hot, and
I don't really know Billy Wilder.
He's like a really famous director. He won tons and tons of Oscars. He's kind of like one of the, I don't know. He's up there with like Hitchcock in terms of like, but for him it was funny movie. Well, kind of funny movies, like good funny movies.
Yeah.
He did Sunset Boulevard, and he did Some Like It Hot, and he did another Marilyn Monroe movie I can't think of right now. I did not realize he directed 2 Best Picture winners called The Apartment, which I thought was going to be a really boring movie and turned out to be one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine.
Oh, Jack Lemmon.
And it's 1960.
Shirley MacLaine.
It's fantastic.
Damn.
And then he made one in the 40s called The Lost Weekend. That was like, Lost Weekend, Billy Wilder, this is going to be a romp. And it was just a sad trudge through an alcoholic's life.
Oh, no.
So you're right. Like, I've been thrown by titles.
Yeah, I don't think you can tell when you go back. I
think Titanic changed everything.
Yeah.
That's from then on. You pretty much
it's
know
about
what it's
a
going to
big
be.
boat or something big. I feel like.
Gee, I wonder what Gladiator's about.
Yeah, Gladiator. I feel like they also will do like the opposite of that. Mm-hmm. And intentional. It's kind of like when you see like, oh, that commercial was so random. What was that for? Like, they'll have like a really random title, and I bet it was never on the script to begin with. It's just some studio executive like, this will be provocative or whatever.
Well, In the Heat of the Night is definitely provocative. Like, I feel like even if nobody fucks, which I wasn't really expecting in '67. I thought it'd be like, edging.
Some kissing on a neck and grinding around a little
bit more clavicle and thigh than you would see in the 50s, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking it's still going to be like an intense movie. It sounds like an intense movie. Okay. So, I don't know. Are you ready for intensity?
I guess so. I mean, that's kind of what I was expecting. I was expecting intense melodrama.
Watch it be like just a rip-roaring comedy. Just like
and it won Best Picture, though. That's the thing that I always circle back to. But you have to remember, like, Crash won Best Picture and... I'm sorry if that comes up every time.
I'm dreading that one.
Yeah, I was like, who would be a good person for Karina to watch Crash with? I was thinking that on the way over here.
I don't know if I want to say this. Well, I have a plan for Crash. I will say this: it's going to be the last episode.
Okay.
And I have a plan for what I want to do. It's going to be a little bit different episode.
All right.
But we'll see if I can pull it off. So I don't want to give away what the idea is yet. But it's. We've watched some really shitty movies. So there's no guarantee this is going to be good.
Yeah. Movie of the Picture of the Year, right? Did it win anything else?
Don't know. I don't look that shit up until after.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah, if I get bored during the movie, I usually look up who won the Oscars.
Okay.
And what it beat and that sort of thing. But
you're doing a movie podcast where it's all about movies, but you don't necessarily have to. It's almost more fun if you're not fully informed on some of these old ones.
I have given myself permission to stay stupid.
I love it. Yeah. I think this is so much better than being like, we know everything about this and blah blah blah.
Because here's my theory. I don't think I've ever articulated this, so thank you for giving me the opportunity on episode 28 to explain the podcast. I think. My theory is that when people saw these movies, the years they came out and won Best Picture, they went in with maybe a movie review under their belt, maybe a little bit of word of mouth. But they didn't. There was no like, oh, this has been one of the greatest movies of all time.
That's true.
There was no like parodies to like drum into them what the
Not
famous
4
scenes
trailers.
were. There wasn't 4 trailers and all that. So I'm like, I want to recreate the experience of seeing it from the first time, except from 2018. Like, what if this movie was released in 2018? I like that. Would it be any good? And it's 50-50. Some of them really do hold up, and some of them, like, they would never even get made. Okay. Yeah.
I think that's excellent. Especially, I didn't know the wrinkle of, like, I didn't think about the almost like a time travel wrinkle of, well, if you went back then, it would have been totally different. You wouldn't have been saturated with media and everything. Yeah,
and there's only like about a dozen of these that I know well. So, I mean, that's a lot of movies I have no knowledge of. Anyway, enough yapping. Yes. Let's watch it.
Here we go.
Okay. Wait, that doesn't look right.
It's a blank screen right now.
No! Ah! Stop! What? No, I won't try. Fuck you. Is that Apple just trying to get me to use Safari? They're like, let's break Google and see if that gets her to switch.
I was having a problem with the form today, and it got so far where I was like, all right, I'm going to try Safari just so I can say I checked that box. I have no confidence in this.
Yeah. There we go.
A lot of these intro things they do nowadays are as complicated as movies used to be.
I don't think that's the 1967 vintage logo.
Yeah, no, it couldn't be.
Yeah, they already said the title.
Is this Ray Charles?
Sounds like it. See, that's what I saw.
Oh, Sidney
like,
Poitier.
This is going to be different than I thought.
How old do we think Sidney Poitier is at this stage?
Is he still alive?
No, not now. I mean, like in the 60s.
Like, is he alive?
No.
He might be just really old, like 90, right?
He might just be enjoying his life.
All right.
My God.
I would put him in his 30s. Like prime of his career, maybe 40. This would be post Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, which was his, like, star-making turn. This is like our parents' generation's Denzel. That's
Yes.
how I think of him.
Yes, I think for a lot of people, because especially like it's not like he was just a heartthrob. Like he was respected by everyone.
Yeah, really versatile actor. That's pretty. Hell yeah, music by Quincy Jones.
Oh, baby, I wonder if they had Ray Charles write this for this.
Yeah, this would be the height of Motown, so Motown Records. Well, there you go.
There we go.
We were not being racist with our ears. That's really Ray Charles.
That's a distinct voice, though. If that wasn't Ray Charles,
that would be
a lawsuit.
He hates cops.
This guy hid a piece of pie in plain sight from a cop.
See, this is why cops like donuts.
Yeah.
None of this monkey business.
A lot harder to hide a donut than it is a pie. That's not true at all.
Look at that vintage Squirt advertisement.
Yeah, who would ever guess that Squirt would be less popular than Pepsi after all this time? But it happened.
Oh. Checking his GPS.
Quite a song. Is this guy about to kill himself? Is this his justification for his suicide? This music?
Something tells me Quincy Jones didn't write that one. Yeah, let's turn that down.
This is Ray Charles' newer stuff at the time.
He went electric.
Yeah, don't. Ooh,
whoa!
We just saw the bottom of some breasts here.
I think she knows you're there, bro.
Yeah, big time. Who's she gonna call though? I guess is the situation.
Yeah, not the Ghostbusters.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you just killed yourself a white man, just about the most important white man we got around here. Picked yourself up $200.
Earn that money 10 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Cullen can't earn that kind of money, boy. Hell, that's more than I make in a month. Now, where did you earn it?
Philadelphia,
Mississippi?
Pennsylvania.
Just what you do up there in little old Pennsylvania earning that kind of money.
I'm a police officer.
Oh shit!
Hell yes!
Yes!
Be a police officer.
And we get paid better than you, fucko.
This is incredible. He was like a comedian with a punchline. He knew it'd work.
Yep. How is this movie any longer? Isn't that like...
Yeah, I'm a cop. You're a dick. Good night.
Good night. See you. Wow.
Uh-huh.
I think that's a clue.
I have noticed, as good a cop as Sidney Poitier is,
He's real handsy.
he's very handsy. It's a lot of him putting his middle finger on something and then rubbing it between his thumb and
Yeah.
getting a feel for stuff.
This definitely has, that old cliche of like sniff it, it's cocaine.
Yeah. Rubbing blood on his gums.
Oh, wow. Tree branch. That tree only grows on 15th Street.
Find anything?
Whoever killed Colbert drove this car last night.
How do you know him? Where you going?
I drive up there in the car you gave me, but I'm sure you don't want me running up there by myself, causing more trouble.
Up where?
Eric and the cops.
Endicott, so come on now.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's fucking Cotton Branch.
Oh, Sydney.
Wow. Oh, I kind of love this movie. It's going right to the heart of it.
Oh, that's what they were driving through before.
The cotton plantation owner murdering the factory guy who's going to actually pay black people. I love this movie. God, cotton sucks.
Ah. Eli Whitney,
Well,
what
after you, huh, Virgil?
have you done?
Fuck you.
That guy needs to decide if he's going to turn into a Virgil supporter or not.
Seriously. So do you think the movie's named after the song and they licensed it, or did they commission the song
I don't know.
after they named the movie?
Either way, I know Ray Charles didn't see it before it was written.
Oh my god. This is too
Jesus.
much. Well, you can find that in Fredericksburg right now if you need to.
That's true. Texas.
Oh, Texas.
Listen, you know something I don't know?
I found a piece of Osmond under Colbert's car.
A piece of what?
On the brake pedal. Osmond. Fern.
Fernwood. Oh, is Mr. Endicott here?
Yes, sir. He's out in the greenhouse. Would you follow me, please?
It's so weird. This. Oh, that would be Philip Seymour Hoffman now.
Yes, good call.
Mr. Endicott. This here is Virgil. Mr. Tibbs.
How do you do, sir?
May I have Henry fetch you something? Some light refreshment? No, thank you. We're right away we
Oh,
are.
I'll have something cold. Something soft. Anything.
Henry, bring in a pitcher of lemonade. I have one too.
Yes, sir.
Soft as in soft drink and not alcohol?
Local.
I guess so.
You like
That's what I
flowers?
thought. That's ridiculous.
Tibbs, you know anything about orchids?
Not very much, but I do like them.
Well, let me show you.
I like how his PowerPoint moved this already.
Endicott's farm.
Everyone's nice.
What do you think?
It's beautiful. It's breathtaking.
Have you a favorite, Mr. Tibbs?
Well, I am partial to any of the epiphytics.
Why, isn't that remarkable? And of all the orchids in this place, you should prefer the epiphytics. I wonder if you know why.
Maybe it would be helpful if you would tell me.
They're from the jungle.
Because, like the Negra, they need care,
Ugh,
feeding,
even worse.
cultivating.
Oh, boy.
That takes time. That's something you can't make.
They could have called this movie "Oh Boy."
Mr. Colbert didn't realize.
Is this what the epithetics root in?
My point. They thrive on it. Take it away from them, they do poorly.
What do you call this material?
That's Osmond and Fernbrook.
Ah.
Well, we don't want to take any more of your time, Mr. Endicott.
Why did you two come here?
Do the Columbo thing. Have one more question.
One more thing.
To ask you about Mr. Colbert.
Let me understand this. You two came here to question me?
Well, your attitudes, Mr. Endicott, your points of view are a matter of record. Some people, well, let us say the people who work for Mr. Colbert might reasonably regard you as the person least likely to mourn his passing. We were just trying to clarify some of the evidence. Was Mr. Colbert ever in this greenhouse, say last night about midnight?
Nice!
Yeah!
Double backhanded slap.
Good, that's me. Yeah,
And Sidney Poitier is not holding his face like a punk.
I saw it. What are you gonna do about it? I'll remember that.
I think he's going to remember the other part of it, too.
There was a time when I could have had you shot. Let's get rolling, Virgin.
Guy looks like the guy that was Ernest.
It
Vern,
does.
whatever.
Yeah. What was his name?
Dramatic Ernest. Vern something.
Yeah. No, Vern was who Ernest was talking to.
All you little birds better
right.
lock up tight.
Jim Varney.
Jim Varney.
Wow, on the prowls.
I like this guy. Pie guy.
Yeah.
Hey, little Mark, get out in the dark.
He's weird.
Prowl, on the prowl.
He's got his head held up to a jukebox right now that's blasting music into the... This is a good guy, though.
Yeah.
You just might be the quail he'll tell.
Kind of looks like Dismukes.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Like Dismukes and Weeby had a baby.
And Dismukes and Enzo had a baby.
Yeah.
If you hear him hoot, scoot. If you pass his tree, flee.
Oh, yeah.
Pie.
Hide the
Hiding
pie.
the pie.
Don't wait to say goodbye.
Take 10 minutes to get myself a king-size Coke and a wedge of pie. That is, if that Peckerwood ain't sold out again.
This is the best subplot ever.
No, I'm coming in.
Oh no. I want to find out that weird guy's racist.
I thought I told you to get the hell out of here.
I'm not ready to leave.
I was going to tell you all about that in the morning, Chief. Ready? You forget about those 4 maniacs this afternoon?
I need more time.
Time? I'm trying to train myself.
I guess so.
Oh. All right, Virgil. Just what the hell do you want?
I want to know exactly where Sam Wood was at all times on the night of the murder.
If you pass his tree, flee. If you catch his eye, fly.
That's interesting.
If you get killed, we're gonna have one hell of a mess in this town. You know that?
It's a real luscious cream pie for you tonight, Sam. I mean, Officer Wood. Just like you always order.
Yeah, you know I don't eat that stuff. Chief here likes his boys streamlined. Ain't that right, Chief?
Why don't you shut up, Sam?
So now that
I ain't serving him.
Oh, shit.
This is your favorite guy, Karina?
Fuck. I should have known. Oh, I like that they're friends. Whoa, little Jaws there.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, boy.
God damn it. Racism sucks.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep thinking we're going to get away from it at some point in this movie. It's not going to happen.
And it's like, this isn't a period piece for the people making this movie. This is like contemporary and real.
Yeah.
And it was made only 11 years before I was born, you know? Like, this isn't...
That's crazy.
Ancient history.
In the heat of the night,
Wow.
I've got trouble.
I don't know, man. Oh,
Wow.
that is pretty not satisfying at all.
I'm in the night.
Yeah.
Must be an ending to
Yeah, okay.
it all.
Shagbag. I do like that there was a character named Shagbag.
Shagbag.
Be strong, and it'll be alright. In the heat of the night.
Well, that's how you end a movie. I like
Yeah.
that.
I feel like the whole thing with the cop being like, "Hey, we're smiling at each other at the end." That's ridiculous.
It was a cop out.
It was a cop out.
Okay, hold on one sec. Okay. Yeah, so... Oh, wow. I feel like
This was a lot.
it was
for
a
sure.
lot.
And I think part of the reason it was a lot is because the music there was like a kind of a liltiness to a lot of the characters in like a fun way, like almost like a Cool Hand Luke kind of a way, where it's like,
Yep.
boy, this is some fucked up stuff, but hee.
It kept... I don't know, it did keep one foot in the realm of fun. Which was like... It wasn't a fun movie, though. Like, the overall tone was very serious. But it did keep one foot up there just to...
It definitely had some of that 60s, 70s cop drama thing of like, I'm gonna do this, see? And blah, blah, blah. Like, they were like that back and forth kind of banter kind of a thing.
Yeah. And the detective work was very TV procedural detective work where he always found the clue he needed just before he needed it. Mm-hmm. Like, it was like, I found a clue and then I verified it
And this
instantly.
is pre-DNA and all that kind of stuff. So it's, like we said, it's a lot of him rubbing things between his pointer finger and his thumb and looking suspicious.
I mean, for those of you who haven't seen the movie, Sidney Poitier plays a guy coming home from visiting his mama, trying to get back to Philadelphia, where he's a policeman. And there happens to be a murder in this small town in Mississippi. And they immediately suspect him and bring him in and arrest him. But then that gets cleared up pretty quick when they find out he's a cop. But not only is he a cop, he's like the Philadelphia police number one homicide detective.
His
in the
trading
world.
card is worth the most.
Yeah, he's like Sherlock Holmes. And then they like kind of reluctantly ask his advice, and then it turns into this movie. I mean, I won't go through the whole details of the crime and everything, but like this push-pull of like stay, go, and who's making the decision.
And at no point do they give him any consistency as far as like, we're going to support you or not. Like one moment they're like, he's better and he's going to save our asses and this is a win-win situation for us. And then the next moment they're using racial epithets in his face.
Yeah, seriously. It goes from please save our asses to we're going to murder you within a scene.
Yeah. And it doesn't go... and it flip-flops both versions of that. Like, sometimes they'll start mad and end a scene happy and vice versa. But usually, I think if this were made now, you would end up with a movie where the town is learning a little bit of a lesson, and boy, this guy can really help us.
Oh, God. No, they did not learn a lesson.
No lessons learned.
He was on the brink of murder right up to the end.
And if he did not have a gun, when he saved himself, he probably still would have gotten beaten or killed. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool shots and things, though, I thought, like, for the time. I'm surprised they did a lot of the...
Sidney Poitier kills it in this movie. He is so good.
When he's in... There's a scene where he's in the jail cell, and they've got him lit, and he's leaning back very casually, and he's just, like, lit with the bars across his face, almost.
Yeah.
And he looks so damn cool.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And he's being falsely arrested at that point, like, and he's acting like he's no big deal, and it's all he really has, I don't know, he had a tough job in this movie because he's got to convincingly play a cop who wants nothing to do with this town and is given every reason to get the fuck out of town, but still feels compelled for multiple reasons that change throughout the movie to stick around and be, like, literally risk death to solve this crime that has nothing to do with him.
Yeah, with a bunch of people that could care less.
Don't want his help.
Actually, no, they care quite a bit. They actively hate this man. Sidney Poitier, you can tell why people talk about what a great actor he is or was, because he really tore it up on this one.
Yeah, this is, if you didn't know, this is the movie with the famous "They call me Mr. Tibbs" line, which I didn't know, and when that popped out, I was like, oh.
There was some to that Mr. Tibbs line, though, like, they used that against him later, like insulting him, like boy and Mr. Tibbs and all this kind of stuff. They were throwing all that kind of stuff around. I thought that Mr. Tibbs line would come with, like, more agency, but I guess not.
It's, you know what it is, though? It is the first time in the movie he stands up for himself. That he stops, like, saying, if I just don't move, the T-Rex will walk away. And, like, decides to defend himself. And from that point on, I mean, what does Sidney Poitier do in this movie? He fucking tears this town up. He yells at cops. He walks all over the chief. He slaps the richest white guy in town.
He evades death at every turn because people are coming after him.
He almost beats up 5 rednecks. He's kind of a badass, but in a believable way. It doesn't turn into, like, oh, and he knows kung fu, and he knows this. Like, there
was no, like, moment where it's like, oh, this guy's like House from House MD or whatever, like, where he plays by his own rules and everything. Like, he was just a good cop, and it looked that much better because they were so terrible.
Yeah.
At one time, he had to tell that guy he couldn't have driven 2 cars, and he went, basically his eyes said, shucks, you're right.
Oh, duh. Yeah. He's a hero, though, but not a superhero, which was, like, really refreshing to see, because I feel like now every movie, the protagonist has to have some super duper special, like, otherworldly power.
Yeah. Like, if you had this power, you'd be just like this guy, but no, because you don't have this power.
Yeah, you either literally have a superpower or you're like Dr. House. Like, you're just so above everybody else that you're a once-in-a-generation genius.
Yeah.
He's just a competent homicide detective dropped into a town that's desperate to just throw anybody away on the first shred of evidence.
They could have called this decent cop. This man is decent both morally and he's a very good cop. Very good cop.
Very good cop.
Yeah.
He is a very good cop. So here's a thought I had during the last shot when he finally gets to leave on the train. And they pull back and they show the train going over the bridges and stuff. And it occurred to me that he was trying to escape the South in his own terms. Like, but he kept getting pushed out and then pulled back in and then threatened with murder and then told to leave or he'd be murdered. Like, that whole back and forth.
They're using him to fight for their side.
Yes.
Like, you know, basically sending him to war for them, that kind of thing.
They try to convince him to stay because it'll mean more jobs for his fellow African Americans, which he rightfully, like, goes, that don't patronize me. But they also... Anyway, my point is that it seems like there's a thesis kind of running through this movie that the only way for this kind of virulent racism to even be cracked a tiny bit is to be forced to coexist as equals. And that's what this movie is doing, and that's the only thing that forges any sort of relationship between him and the police chief of the town, that they're forced to coexist. Neither one of them wants it, but the plot mechanism forces them together. But even at the end, we kind of found it a little unconvincing.
Yeah,
only because the chief kept fucking up every connection that they had.
Every time he had a moment, he would put his foot in his mouth, and every time, but then
he'd say something racist. He wouldn't just put something. He put his foot in Sidney Poitier's mouth.
Yeah. And it seemed like every time it was ready to turn a corner, it just never turned. Which is, I guess, kind of how racism works sometimes.
I think so, and I think, gosh, as a portrait that I have to believe is accurate enough for a fictional movie of 1967 Mississippi, it is bleak.
And can you imagine how much stuff just went unreported as far as murders? And
I'm sure, if anything, this movie soft-pedaled it and contrived to have him not get murdered.
Yeah.
Because I think in the real world, that would have been the ending for him.
They would
for sure. After he slapped the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would have been shot.
That scene where they had him cornered in the mechanics area or whatever, they wouldn't have, there's 4 of them and he had a pole. They would have gotten him. Yeah. I mean, there were so many times when it was almost contrived that he would survive. The widow was really one of the only likable people, and she was just kind of upset the whole time.
She was a plot device to keep him there in the early going. But she was also from the North. She was an ally because she was from Chicago and she didn't see things through these racist lenses. She was like, that's the best cop in town. I want him on the case. Yeah. And then the other thing is the irony of him leaving on a train, overground railroad, was kind of interesting too. So many little moments that are horrifying because 1967 Mississippi was a horrifying place, but also horrifying because that could still be today.
Yeah,
Him getting arrested immediately upon suspicion by the cops, and the way he has him spread him against the wall and everything, that felt like, oh my god, this could be a body cam.
I want to count all 10 fingers. Yeah.
The only difference is that he doesn't get shot right then and there.
Yeah.
And
I feel like, I don't know a ton about current Mississippi, but just in general.
Yeah.
I like this movie. I keep thinking oh, well, that's a nation we're probably turning corners and things are going better, and nope. Not really. Not as good, going as well as you thought.
You know what's interesting is that this movie is very focused, as it should be, or makes sense for it to be in 1967 at the height of the Civil Rights Movement, on the North versus South attitudes, and the fact that Sidney Poitier or Virgil Tibbs can be a high-ranking, high-paid detective in Philadelphia, and then in the South he's nobody. He's dirt.
Yeah.
What we're seeing now in 2018 is that it's not a regional thing. It's no longer North versus South. All the issues we're having with racist police departments literally scattered all over the country, without pattern. And it's we can no longer have that convenient excuse of the South just never got over the Civil War and stayed super racist while the rest of us moved on.
Well, it seems simple, right?
Yeah, it does.
We want it to be simple.
We want that to be the case, and I think that's still how people default believe about racism, it's worse in the South. And I don't know that it's the scariest parts of this movie that felt the most contemporary literally just happened in Indiana or in Missouri or in California.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever, I don't want to get into politics, but it's an interesting movie to watch today because it's cops being forced to interact with a black guy.
Yeah,
it's really tense to watch right now.
Timely. Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah, and doing a terrible job of it and being really racist the whole time. It makes your teeth grind.
And I feel like with a lot of the racism, they really kind of in a weird way, I guess it's that the cops were racist, but they were also the comedic relief. But it wasn't a lot of times that there was comedic racist relief. But the cops were like these funny ones, but then they also had the most awful lines in the movie. So it was kind of...
well, the cops were the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
Whenever there was a joke,
yes,
they were the butt of it.
Funny is they weren't the funny ones necessarily, but they were the ones I was laughing at.
They're portrayed as bumbling idiots.
Yeah.
Not cartoonishly, but like any chance there was to point out how bad they were at being cops, it happened.
They butted right up against stuff that, like, some of the yokel-ness, it was like basically a Disney vulture character going like so they definitely played it right up to the edge there, I feel like.
I think my only problem with this movie is the solution. I think they tried to go with I mean, it's a murder mystery, genre-wise. And it did the murder mystery thing of the guy you least expect, but when you think about it, seems totally plausible as a murderer. It was dealing with such big themes and such big issues and had so many plausible suspects. The fact that they pulled the random comic relief pie guy out as the murderer, just didn't hit for me.
When you said the brother, I thought maybe it would be the brother, and I was like
an
oh,
incest
I could
thing.
see how that maybe another layer there, but no, just the pie guy. Just the pie, who I really liked until he was racist. As soon as you said it, he said something about not serving Sidney Poitier. So.
I was like, God damn it. I liked him because he wouldn't serve pie to the cops. And like, on his side.
Very funny, that guy.
It turned out he murdered someone. And for no good reason.
Yeah, just for
money.
Some money.
Yeah, some money. Not even a ton of money.
Some money.
Oh, boy. I don't know. What else?
Movie of the year that year.
I believe it.
Picture of the year. It probably was more groundbreaking then, I would think.
Well, it still feels like that did not feel like cliche. I didn't see that much coming. You know what I mean? The twists and turns were pretty good. And then literally just that plot device of... Oops. Typed the wrong thing. Just that plot device of the main tension being will he stay or will he go? Even though you know he has to stay. It's for the movie to keep going.
Yeah.
Is really weird.
Rod Steiger?
Yeah, that's who we thought was Skipper.
Oh, he won.
Yeah, so the movie won. But Rod Steiger won instead for Best Actor, and Sidney Poitier did not.
He didn't get nominated.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, and just looking at this, like Dustin Hoffman's in there for The Graduate, Paul Newman for Cool Hand Luke.
That was a good year.
Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
Wait!
Also not Sidney Poitier nominated. This is ridiculous.
God. And Warren Beatty. Now that's a hell of a year.
Yeah, but this is like they're carrying over more of the frustration of like, come on, cut this guy a break.
I would have called Rod Steiger the supporting actor. I mean, he was not the lead.
No, definitely not.
He did a great job. I don't begrudge him an award.
Absolutely.
But that is so weird that Spencer Tracy, Paul Newman, Dustin Hoffman, Warren Beatty, and they gave it to this guy who wasn't even the best or lead actor in the movie. But do you think that's racism? Did Poitier didn't get a nomination?
I don't know.
I think it has to be.
That's just crazy. Well, I guess not crazy. It's crazy to say that's crazy. But it just seems like if you're going to give an award for this movie, how could you also? They seem like they're not parallel thoughts.
Let me just wrap my head around this. In 1967, Sidney Poitier turned in two of the most iconic performances by a black actor in American cinema in the same year in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and In the Heat of the Night.
Award-winning movies. Both.
Those movies both won multiple awards all over the place for all sorts of things. And he wasn't nominated for shit. Just the fact that he was in both of those movies. That was like, remember when Tom Hanks did Philadelphia and Forrest Gump back to back?
Right,
if he had done those in the same year, the Academy would have fallen over itself to give him at least one award.
Or nominate him.
Or at least nominate him.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
I did not see that coming at all.
And yeah, I assumed he won Best Actor. I was like, well, he deserved his Best Actor award.
And Best Screenplay, they got a lot of awards for this year.
Yeah. I mean, between his two movies, they swept the awards.
1, 2,
except
3.
for The Graduate won Best Director, which makes a lot of sense.
Jeez.
I mean, it
wow.
won. Both screenplays won. I'm indignant. This is part of my ignorance. I'm probably like indignant, freshly learning about something that's been a long-standing controversy about the academies. That in 1968, Sidney Poitier got royally fucked. But man, he got royally fucked.
Big time.
Hold on, I want to go to his Wikipedia page.
I thought what else?
He won a Lifetime award in my lifetime. It was he won Best Actor in '64.
That's interesting.
So I guess it wasn't racism necessarily. Hold on, where's his awards? So he won for something called Lilies in the Field, whatever. I don't know, I never heard of it. And then he won a Lifetime 2002. Yeah, I remember that.
And is he still alive, it looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 91 years old.
Sydney.
Way to go. He's from the Bahamas?
I don't know when that picture was taken, but he looks excellent. I'm not surprised.
That looks like the Medal of Freedom. That must have been...
Yeah, when Obama
gave it to him.
Not so many years ago.
In 2009, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That decade was so much better than this decade.
I mean, I would say let's not bring that up, but it's apropos of everything that we just saw in this movie.
And he's a knight, too. Fuck yeah. You can go, boy. Oops, sorry. I shouldn't have called you boy.
Oh, no.
I know. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't have thought twice unless we just
literally
watched
heard
this.
it 93 times per minute for the last 2 hours, and it just... Okay.
He called him man once at the beginning, and then boy all before and after that.
He was in Ghost Dad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he directed Ghost Dad? Whoa.
Really?
What the fuck?
Hold on.
Sidney Poitier
directed
Ghost Dad.
Uptown Saturday Night, Let's Do It Again, A Piece of the Action.
Yeah, which I've actually seen. That's a pretty good movie.
Stir Crazy, I remember, when I was little.
Really good, yeah.
Ghost Dad.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I don't know how to feel about that. I'm gonna stop thinking about it now.
Wow.
So, all right. I still think it's racism. I still think that there's something messed up about an America that saw Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and In the Heat of the Night and thought, wow, these are two award-worthy movies, and he didn't get nominated for acting.
Didn't even get nominated. I mean, that's insane. People should still be talking about this every year, that they have
Let's start
nominations.
Let's start it. This is 2018's version. In 1 month, you go out and you start talking about it for 2019. We did our job in 2018.
Yep.
Now you have to go talk about this.
Cause a scene. Stir it up.
Yeah. We gotta show Poitier some love while he's still on the planet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you believe he's having to live through all this crap now?
I know. I mean...
Gets a Medal of Freedom from a black president? Or whatever it is.
And now he's reliving like his 60s experience.
Yeah.
God damn it. I'm so upset.
He must think he has dementia. And he's just like, this, I must be wrong.
I don't. I don't hope he has dementia. But it would be nice if he was not paying attention. Let's put it that way. I hope he's having a wonderful life in Miami where he doesn't read the news.
I hope he's a big reader, but of just fiction.
He's doing like crossword puzzles and Sudoku, and his great-grandchildren come and visit him, and he eats a lot of good fruit.
Fresh. He's got a couple trees of his own. He tends to them. He doesn't need a gardener.
People come visit him. I hope that's all happening and not him waking up every day typing in WashingtonPost.com and cursing his head off.
I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully he can't use the computer.
So.
There's nothing on there for you, Sid.
Stay off Twitter.
Stay out of there.
Oh my god, I hope he doesn't have a Twitter account. Oh, Sidney Poitier, please stay off Twitter.
He should start doing reaction videos or something like that for Sidney Poitier making another run at the youth.
Oh my my God, Rob, thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Gritting it out through this very timely and intense movie.
It was truly intense. I'm very interested to see how you're going to edit any of this conversation we had here. But it's been a trip. It truly was interesting to see the timing of it all like that.
Yeah.
What a 60s movie feels like to watch now.
Wow.
Especially with that subject material. So thanks for having me. I
Absolutely.
wouldn't have made myself sit down and watch this.
No, who would? That's
I would
the
have
point
watched
of this podcast.
The Office again or something like that. So
Yeah.
this is great.
Do you have anything you want to have people come see at, or Sandbox on Tuesdays?
Yeah, that's the main cool fun thing. It's every Tuesday at Fallout Theater at 9:30. It's a pay what you want show, BYOB. It's an experimental comedy show. So basically I have stand-ups, improvisers, musicians come on and do anything other than what they usually do. So you're going to see all kinds of weird stuff. We have prizes and snacks, and it's real warm and nice.
It's a very strange, but in a good way, show. If you are listening to every episode and you heard Cassidy talk about the time she ate mayonnaise on stage, it happened at Sandbox. So,
I told her that was one of my favorite. Not that we haven't had similar or crazier things, but it was just the way she did it. It was so. She was like upset, but satisfied with each bite. It was basically like she never shrugged her shoulders, but it was basically a giant shoulder shrug and a mayonnaise eating. It was quite something. Yeah, very impressed. So thanks for the plug, Cass. Appreciate you.
all right. Well, you guys stick around. We're gonna have more good movies every week, or bad movies. They all win awards. And like us on things and rate us on things, or you know what? Just listen. I'm not gonna put more burden on every podcast you listen to. Puts work on your shoulders. Go out,
enjoy your life.
Yeah, you know what? Kick back, drive to work, and then turn it off and go about your day. I don't care what you do. I love you for listening. I'm really. I know. Was that too strong?
No, this is great.
No,
I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking hear that?
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Bye, everybody.